Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 350. My name is Adam Patterson. With me today we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
350 episodes. Feels like just yesterday we were at episode number 1.
No, it doesn't.
I know.
It's like we've been doing this forever.
It feels like 8 years ago because this Wednesday is our 8th anniversary. Been doing this for 8 years.
Oh, boy.
We're old men now. We started as youngsters and now we're grizzled old men. So this is the first episode of the new year, and as we do every year, we'll be looking ahead to 2020, discussing our most anticipated films for the year. We're also going to look back at our picks for last year and see how that turned out. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. Really appreciate all you listeners who've been coming back for 8 years. I think that's just incredible.
Why?
It's a great question, Kevin. With that, I think we can take a look at our picks from last year. I have the list here. Now, first of all, you said you weren't excited about any 2019 movie. That was like the thing you said at the top. You're like, I'm not really anticipating any movies.
I do remember I noticed the thing about looking forward to 2020, like combing through titles and stuff, that there was more to be excited about. I do remember last year being pretty dire, like where it was just nothing but sequels and fucking Marvel movies and shit.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go over the list here. First up, we have Us. Both of us were anticipating that one, and that turned out pretty damn good. We're both Uncut Gems was on both of our lists, and I was a little bit higher on that than you, but I think you still came away with it feeling pretty good about that movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was on my list, and I was a little bit disappointed with that movie.
Ooh, okay.
That, I think on my top 50 of 2019, that was somewhere like 26, 27, somewhere around there. I liked it, don't get me wrong. I just didn't find it quite as strong as some of Tarantino's other films. A Bread Factory, which came out in 2018, was on your list for 2019. Now I know you did see that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that's tough with me is I have a feeling that even this year there's going to be some movies on here that probably played festivals in 2019, but I'm waiting for them to get to me.
Sure.
This is me being.
Also, it should be said right at the top that there's going to be probably some movies on our list that don't come out in 2020 at all.
Yep.
that we'll be getting to that in just a second with this 2019 list. I had The Beach Bum, and I was a bit disappointed with that as well. That's the Harmony Korine one. A lot of people enjoyed that. I don't know. I just couldn't get behind it. Maybe it was the time when I watched it, I wasn't really feeling it, but it was meh for me. You had Paradise Hills on your list.
Yeah.
We reviewed.
It's kind of a meh.
Yeah, same here. We reviewed that on the show a few months back. Both of us had Synchronic on our lists.
That's on my list for this year.
And that's on my list for this year too. So that's a carryover. I'm very confident with that movie.
It's got to.
Yeah. We both had The Mountain, Rick Alverson's The Mountain. And we were both pretty meh on that one. We were, I can totally understand why it would land on both of our lists. Like,
oh yeah, on paper, it's got everything we want.
Exactly. And it just didn't quite live up to the hype that I had in my head for that. We both had Prisoners of a Ghostland on our list, which never came out. That's on my list as well. Yeah, it's on my list
for this year.
It's on my list for this year as well. If you're not familiar, that's the English language debut for Shion Sono with Nicolas Cage. So really, really hyped for that one.
Yes.
We both had Honey Boy on our lists.
Okay.
We reviewed that a couple weeks back on the show. I think we were both pretty satisfied with that one.
Yeah.
Didn't love it quite as much as I expected. We both had Parasite on our list. Obviously, that
that delivered.
Yeah, big time for me. That was my number one movie of 2019. You have The Great Pretender on your list.
Oh yeah, that was a 2019
Did that come out?
movie. Yeah, that came out on Amazon Prime. I
Ah,
forgot. I did see that. That was pretty good.
okay, cool. I have The Art of Self-Defense on my list, which was the Riley
There's,
Stearns dark
there's,
comedy.
an, there's another top 10er for you.
That was number 9, I think, on my list. Feast of the Epiphany was on your list.
Still has not come out.
It still hasn't come out to me.
I think it's playing in New York right now.
Oh, really?
But I think that's probably as far as it's gonna get. Like, I might see that on a streaming service somewhere, hopefully this
I'm
year.
not even sure what that is.
It's a very small independent movie, American indie, and I forget where it's playing, but I think it's like if I'm correct, it's the guy from Reverse Shot, that publication.
Oh, okay. I had It Chapter 2 on my list. That was a disappointment.
Yeah.
You had Black Mother on your list, and you were pretty high on that
Oh
one.
man, yeah, that one came through.
That was a top 10 for you, wasn't it?
It was. By the way, all of his movies are on the Criterion channel right now.
Oh, wow.
If you're signed up to the Criterion channel.
Check that out. Here's an interesting one. We both had The Kitchen on our list.
The Kitchen.
Do you remember
Really?
that? Yeah, that was a 2019 movie that came and went so fast. That came and went in the blink of an eye.
It sure did.
Neither of us saw it.
No?
I don't really plan on seeing it.
No?
Pretty sure it was eviscerated by critics, those that actually saw it. I don't know what happened with that movie. That was another one that, like, on paper, it sounded like it was going to be really good. It had a really strong cast based on a very popular Vertigo comic book series.
Wow. The Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Incredible.
You have A Dim Valley on your list?
Oh yeah. Which still hasn't come out. I mean, I've seen it, but it hasn't come out.
Was it worthy of, did it live up to the expectations?
Yes, it does. Robert Longstreet, once again, fantastic in it, and he actually does. He does some like some country folk singing in it, which like he wrote his own music, like the song and everything, and turns out he's good at that too.
Of course.
Is there anything he can't do?
I just saw him in something very recently. I can't remember what it was, but I just was like, Longstreet.
Dr. Sleep apparently had a small role in that.
That's it. That's what it was.
He plays Barry the Chunk.
Yeah. Let's see. I had Velvet Buzzsaw. That was a bit of a disappointment, except for Morph Vanderwalt.
Yes. That was talk about a movie that's like not good, but a character that exists in it that's just incredible.
Yeah. You have Shoot the Moon Right Between the Eyes.
Okay. I still don't think that's come out. It's played like every festival, I think.
Did you see it?
No, I have not. So I'm still excited on that one. I didn't put it on the list. Because I think I was on the list the year before too.
I was hoping it's not going to happen this year, but there have been years in the past where I would list off a movie and you wouldn't even know what it was. Like you'd have to look it up to remember. I have Lords of Chaos. I did see that. That was okay. Really dark. I have The Sunlit Night, which
The Sunlit Night.
What I just mentioned, that just happened right now, where I don't know what The Sunlit Night is. Oh, you know what it is? I do know what it is. It's from the director of Wetlands. That never.
Oh wow, Gillian Anderson,
Yeah.
Jenny Slate, Zach Galifianakis. Okay.
It never came out, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the status of that one is, but it's directed by David Went, the guy that did.
Yeah, it played Sundance at the beginning of 2019, and then just nothing.
Yep. So maybe that'll be a 2020 release, hopefully, because I'm still interested in it. I had Greener Grass, which I was a big fan of.
I still want to see that.
You know, I rewatched it. I rewatched it when I was in Pennsylvania over the holidays, visiting with my family, and like I watched it with my dad and my wife, and like they were not into it.
Sucked it.
It was one of those really awkward situations where you put on a comedy that you think everybody's gonna like and laugh at, and it's just completely silent the whole time.
Yeah.
There's no laughter. So I was like trying to hold back my laughter during scenes that I thought were really funny, like the pool water stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just very specific audience for that movie.
Yes.
Finally, I had The Irishman on my list, which turned out to be one of my top tens as well.
Which I just recently watched that
Oh yeah,
and thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah, really solid.
And you know, we're talking run times. Man, perfectly paced.
I agree. I agree.
It's just
100%.
it's fantastic.
I don't think anything needed to be trimmed from that movie, honestly.
Nope.
All right, let's move on to what we have in 2020. I think we'll just go back and forth. I have a sort of a loose order for maybe like the first 5 or 10 or so.
I just slap shit in here.
Normally, I don't do any kind of order, but I noticed that this was sort of just organically being put into an order, so I let it go. It's loose. Anyway, my first pick for 2020 is Wendy. This is the new
Okay, yeah.
this is the new one from Ben Zeitlin. So if you can remember way back when we talked about Beasts of the Southern Wild, that was my number one. I think that was my number one movie of the year. It was one or two.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that movie. Saw it multiple times. It's just fantastic. And I don't know if you saw the trailer for Wendy, but it looks like very much in the same vein as Beasts of the Southern Wild. So I am beyond excited. And that comes out next month. So that's actually coming out very soon.
Oh, nice. I don't really have an order here. Like I said, I just kind of slap stuff together.
It's free form, you know? You just list off the stuff. It's, you know, just whatever.
We're, 8 years in and we're still just winging it. Just fucking winging it.
Just having a conversation.
It's been working for 8 years, I guess. So why not? I think for me is First Cow, the newest one from Kelly Reichardt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited for this. I pretty much enjoyed every film from her. And this involves a loner joining up with a group of fur trappers out in Oregon Territory. And then he befriends a Chinese immigrant. And they collaborate on a business, but they need the prize milking cow. First Cow, the titular First Cow, I'm guessing.
I think that played some festivals.
It did.
Yeah, it didn't.
So there's probably already a bunch of people that have seen it.
Big whoop. Big effing whoop. I have Last Night in Soho on my list. Are you familiar with this?
Is that the new Edgar Wright?
It is the new Edgar Wright.
See, I did movies.
So this is about a young girl, passionate in fashion design, is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters her idol, a dazzling wannabe singer. But 1960s London is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with shady consequences. Yes, please.
Ooh. Something that I'm excited for. This is a twofer. I'm doubling up. It's called a double dupia because Keep an Eye Out was so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already excited for Deerskin. So Deerskin's on my list because obviously I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't come to us. And of course, if you don't know about that movie, it's a guy obsessed with his designer deerskin jacket.
Yeah.
Which causes him to lose his entire savings, and then he has to turn to crime. I guess to keep the jacket. I'm not sure. But whatever. I'm in. But his newest movie is called Mandibles, which is about two simple-minded friends that find a giant fly in the trunk of their car and decide to domesticate it and teach it tricks in order to earn some money.
Sign me up.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Double dupio. Give it to me.
I have Synchronic. That we already discussed that.
I have that as well.
That's the new.
I figure I'll commit to it now. It seems like it's closer to us.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, that did play festivals. in
Yeah.
2019. So I'm almost certain that it'll be coming out this year. And I think the Endless was pretty successful for them. So I don't know. I'm assuming that Synchronic already got picked up. If not, I'm sure it will be soon. That's, if you're not familiar, it's the new Benson and Moorhead film. I think, is it Anthony Mackie in that?
Yep. And Jamie Dornan, I think.
Jamie Dornan. I think there's like some kind of time travel involved with
Oh
it.
yeah, there is.
So yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for Saint Maud.
Okay.
From director Rose Glass,
Mm-hmm.
which I think A24 is putting that out.
Yeah.
I remember that played a couple festivals, and I just remember hearing like pretty much, this movie's incredible. So
Yeah, I think the trailer came out not too long ago, and it looks really good. Really.
Which we get that at the end of March. So I know it's coming.
I have The French Dispatch on my list.
I have that on mine as well as the tentative. We'll see.
I have a bunch of movies that we can talk about that aren't quite on my list, but maybe are notable releases for the year. So we'll get to those at the end. But The French Dispatch, like, I'm still all in on Wes Anderson. I was a little disappointed with Isle of Dogs. Maybe my expectations were way too high for that.
Yeah.
Like, I love dogs, and Wes Anderson doing a stop motion dog movie. I was like, oh yeah, buddy. But for some reason, I was a little bit let down with that one. And honestly, I really enjoyed Grand Budapest Hotel, but comparing it to his other films, I feel like it was not quite as strong. So I'm hoping that The French Dispatch will bring me back into the Anderson world.
A biggie that I'm excited for is Dune.
The Villeneuve.
Yes,
I have that on my list as well.
I'm a big fan of the original Dune, the David Lynch Dune. I don't understand why people hated that, because I love it. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Me too. I mean, especially after seeing what he did with Blade Runner, working within that really dense kind of sci-fi universe, like how he's able to work in that space.
The only thing that troubles me is that it's what's his name? Chalamet.
Yeah.
Is the I
don't mind.
But what do you guys? I have a feeling that we're gonna have to deal with this guy for I don't know how many more years.
A long time, I think.
Fucking every goddamn movie.
A long time. I have Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
I suspected that would be on your list as well. Yes. I think that's probably on everybody's list at this point.
Yes.
I mean, seeing that little teaser, I'm just like, oh, well, I have to know. I have to know what's going on in this movie now. It looks awesome. He's going back to like this kind of trippy mindfuck sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. And I love the cast because it doesn't have Chalamet in it.
It does not. It does not have Timothée Chalamet in it.
It's fucking fresh, He doesn't show up anywhere. You get John David Washington in there.
Hell yeah.
And Debicki. So it's count me in. I'm excited for Tenet as well. I'm also excited for Candyman.
Me too.
Nia DaCosta.
That's on my list too.
I enjoyed. I finally watched the original Candyman last year, 2019. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm interested to see an updated version. Plus, the cast is pretty fantastic too.
Yeah. It's produced by Jordan Peele, and Tony Todd is coming back as the Candyman, and it takes place after the events of the first film, I believe. So it's like a sort of like what they did with Halloween, where it's like a rebooted sequel, I think.
Yeah. It's like I think they're touting it as like a spiritual sequel. So they can play a little fast and loose.
Yeah, I'm all in on that one. Very excited. I have The Personal History of David Copperfield on my list, which is the new Armando Iannucci. Now, I've loved everything that he's done that I've seen. I think I've probably seen almost everything that he's done at this point, maybe a couple of his really early things, but Death of Stalin I thought was absolutely fantastic. I love In the Loop. I love his work on Veep, and him doing this David Copperfield movie, I think, is pretty incredible. I saw there's a trailer out for this too, which makes it it's going to be hilarious. Like I wasn't sure at first when I first heard about this and I didn't really see anything or read anything. I'm like, is it going to be that same style of comedy? Cuz it's a period piece and like I don't know why I was doubting that it wouldn't be that same style, but it 100% is
Yeah.
and it looks so funny.
All right, all right. I've noticed something going through movies, scouring through, trying to glean the ones that I'm excited for. I noticed a couple of movies with a certain theme that reminds me of the 90s, which is something that I was into at that time. And one movie, out of all of them, I was only really excited for one that looked pretty good, and that's Underwater from William Eubank that has Kristen Stewart. It seems like we're going to be getting some more underwater, like supernatural
Mhm.
thriller, horror type things, which has me excited because I was pretty big into that when I was little.
And that's coming out very soon too. That comes out the end
Yes,
of this month.
yes, it does.
There've been some early rumblings about this movie coming out.
Are they good or are they bad?
I only read a couple things just on Twitter, no like reviews or anything, and people are saying not good. But
Oh man,
I'm still gonna see it because I think it definitely looks like something within my wheelhouse because I also love the like sci-fi horror movies. It has sort of an alien vibe to it, and
for whatever reason, I was really into those movies.
me too.
They were
Like Event Horizon.
yeah, anything that took place underwater and people were, dying
Yeah,
and they had to survive.
Event
Love it.
Horizon's in space, but it's still kind of the same concept.
Well, I'm talking about the goddamn underwater movies.
Okay, so
Okay.
so
I'm not talking about
specifically,
space shit.
okay. I was thinking you were talking about more like underwater or in space, like some kind of horror that takes
Yeah,
place
I
on
guess.
like a
Yeah,
base of some kind.
that's true. I mean, I can see a correlation there because hell, I mean, if you think about it, we've explored space far more than we have like the deepest depths of the ocean.
Sure. I have Bill and Ted Face the Music on
There you
my
go.
list.
This is there's a part of me that's like this is really stupid and we shouldn't do it, but at the same time I'm like I'll watch it.
I
I'm going to watch.
Yeah, my hope is that they embrace it. Like I'm really and it seems like a Bill and Ted movie would be like that where they just kind of embrace how ridiculous it is for
Yes.
them to come back after all of these years. And I feel like Keanu Reeves is in a bit of a renaissance right now. Like everything he does just seems to be so pure and incredible that I yeah, I just think that it might not be a good movie, but I think that I will enjoy it regardless.
Another movie that I think played a number of festivals last year and got really good reviews from what I've seen is The Vast of Night from Andrew Patterson.
Okay.
This is kind of like a sci-fi thriller set in the 1950s. There's this mysterious frequency that's descended upon a town in New Mexico.
That sounds
So you got
interesting.
you got the 50s, you got out west, you got a mysterious frequency, sci-fi thriller. Hey, give it to me.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Look at you with your Ghostbuster
I
shit.
know it's a pretty standard thing to add to the list here, but I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. Loved Ghostbusters as a kid. I had all the action
Just
figures. I had like the wearable toys, like the proton pack and the trap and all of that. I
mhm.
was obsessed with Ghostbusters. And the first trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife was definitely hitting all the right nostalgic notes for me. I was not one of these like people who really hated on the was it 2016 the
Yeah.
I didn't I enjoyed that. But
Same here. Yeah.
after seeing the what they're doing with Afterlife, I think that feels more like a proper sequel than the sort of reboot that they did previously.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about bringing things back from years past. I'm excited for Coming to America 2
Yeah,
from Craig Brewer.
I have this listed here. It's not I was hesitating if I wanted to add it to my list proper or just talk about it. I definitely wanted to talk about
Yeah.
it, but this one's just such a big question mark for me. Like,
Yes. There's a part of me that's like it might not be good, but I love the original Coming to America. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen that movie. Absolutely love it. With everything that happened with Dolomite is my name. I mean, I'm excited.
yeah, you
It
get,
might not work out, but I don't care. They got pretty much everyone back from the original, so count me in.
yeah, me
I'm
too. I
ready.
mean, I'm definitely gonna see it too, without a doubt. I love Coming to America, and I'm really hoping. I mean, I think I was a lot more hesitant about it before I saw Dolomite is my name. After seeing
Yes,
Dolomite, I'm just like,
yes,
okay, now
uh,
now I'm excited for Coming to America.
yeah, 100%. Because I was the same way. I'm just like, why are they doing? Why Coming to America? Why are you revisiting that? And then after Dolomite is my name, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do want to revisit Coming to America. Let's do it.
It could be. I think that if it's successful, and depending on how they make it, like how it turns out, I think it could be really interesting for them for like studios to start making new comedies that have the same sort of aesthetic and maybe vibe as those older comedies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we see it a lot in horror movies, right? Where you have a horror movie that has sort of an 80s vibe, an 80s aesthetic. It's a throwback to a slasher movie. You don't really have like throwback comedies, you know?
no, and it would usually when they do, it's something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, let's do a throwback camp sex comedy straight to straight to DVD.
Yeah, no, well, those never work. I have Da Five Bloods on my
Oh, I got
list.
that on my list too.
Figured that would be on your list as well.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think that Spike Lee's been killing it recently, and
Plus, I mean, the cast that you got here: Paul Walter Hauser, Chadwick Boseman, Jonathan Majors, Delroy Lindo.
yeah, and it's a war movie too. It's about a group of veterans from the Vietnam War who return to the jungle to find their lost innocence.
Yeah,
Not sure what that's going to entail, but
no,
really excited to see how that one turns out.
and that's a Netflixer.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
That's a Netflix.
Wow.
Yep, dropping on Netflix.
Wow.
I got another Netflix for you, and that's Charlie Kaufman's new one. I'm thinking of ending
I
things,
have that on my list too.
which has Jesse Plemons in there.
Love him.
Couple takes a road trip, and they end up journeying through the fragile psyches. So watch out. Things are gonna get weird.
Man, Netflix strong 2019. Looks like it's going to be a strong
Yeah,
2020 for Netflix.
and that's what we kind of talked about on the year-end podcast, or at least I was kind of hinting towards is, me and you used to pretty much make fun of these guys because they seem to just fucking tear everyone down. Whoever it was, whatever director it was, just brought them down to this level of mediocrity. But I don't know if they've like kind of figured things out. I don't know if they like pull back the reins and
Yeah,
just let people do their thing.
yeah, because they've been getting like high profile directors for a while. I would say at least the last 3 years they've been getting high profile directors. I mean, I think it was in 2018, the beginning of 2018, when we were looking at what Netflix was putting out, and that's when they had like the Gareth Evans one, the Jeremy Saulnier one, and we were like, wow, Netflix is starting to get some real heavy hitters here. And then all those movies turned out to be sort of middling.
Yeah,
And that,
just
but man, now 2019 was just a killer year for Netflix.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see because it seems like they're getting even bigger now. Now that they were able to pull in Scorsese
Yeah. Yep.
and some others. So
Most definitely. I have The Invisible Man on my list. This is
I figured that would be on there.
I've said it before. The Invisible Man is my favorite of the Universal monsters. I've watched every Invisible Man movie. I own every Invisible Man movie. It's and I think that what Lee Wanell's doing with this new version of the Invisible Man is really interesting. I love his spin on the Invisible Man, and I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
All right. I got another Netflix, and that's D. Reese's The Last Thing He Wanted.
Okay.
So D. Reese is going to be on Netflix. I mean, they got a lot of people putting out stuff
Yeah.
this year. So this is based or adapted from a Joan Didion novel. You got Willem Dafoe, Ben Affleck, Anne Hathaway, Toby Jones, Rosie Perez. So, and I've enjoyed what Dee Reese's other films. Mudbound was a little iffy. That was another Netflix. I think that was the first Netflix movie that she did, but I'm excited with this one.
I have On the Rocks, which is the new Sofia Coppola. This is stars Rashida Jones and Bill Murray and Jenny Slate.
Okay, yes.
Young mother who reconnects with her larger-than-life Playboy father on an adventure through New York. The Playboy father is played by Bill Murray, so yep. Sign me up for that, please.
It's got Marlon Wayans in there too.
Hell yeah.
Possessor.
I
have no idea if I'm actually going to be able to see this in 2020.
Yeah,
but
this is on my list too, the Brandon Cronenberg.
Yes, using brain implant technology to inhabit other people's bodies and then committing assassinations for high-paying customers.
Yeah, I really liked Antiviral, Brandon Cronenberg's. I think that was his last feature. And so I'm really interested to see what he does for his next feature.
Yeah.
I have Promising Young Women. This is from Emerald Fennell, who she did Killing Eve, the show Killing Eve. So it's about a young woman who is traumatized by a tragic event in her past, seeks out vengeance against men who cross her path. Basically, she like goes to bars, pretends to be really drunk, and then when guys try to take advantage of her, she does something to him. She does something to him. I don't know if she murders him, but she definitely does something to him. Maybe murder.
She removes all their skin
and wears it for a week.
Mails it to their mother. I have another two for this. Involves two Nick Cage movies, one of which was on both of our lists last year, which is Prisoners of Ghostland.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that, right? And then another one, which you made me very happy, I think yesterday, which is Color Out of Space.
Yeah, we'll be covering that one not next week, but the week after.
Yes. So I already have one on my list that's locked in.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one too. The H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. Oh, yes. I've heard nothing but great things about that. It sounds completely bonkers. So,
which is what you want.
Yeah. So I have a bunch here. That's really it for my like list proper, but I wrote down a bunch of things that I'm like kind of excited for, but not like dying for.
Okay.
The first one is Saw, the new Saw reboot. This is the one that was written by Chris Rock and stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I just have to know what this is all about.
That's right. I forgot that was happening.
Yeah, like I really need to know what's going on with this movie.
I am excited for, well, not full on excited, but the new Abel Ferrara movie, Siberia, with Willem Dafoe, which is essentially just described as an exploration into the language of dreams.
Yeah, I read about this one, and I'm just like, I don't know, man.
It has, with every Abel Ferrara movie with me, he seems to be the type of director that there's really no middle ground when it comes to me and him. I either love it or I hate it.
100% agree. Yep, that's exactly how I am with this stuff.
I'm never in the middle where I'm like, oh, that was all right. Either I love it or I fucking hate it. So this has good things for me on paper. These are things that I like. So the needle's leaning towards love it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I for most Abel Ferrara things at this point, I have a sort of wait and see attitude. Like, I'll wait and see how this looks. Another one that I'm kind of interested in is called Gunpowder Milkshake. This is directed by Navat Papuchado. He is the guy who did Big Bad Wolves, which I was pretty into that one. And this is about a secret sisterhood who comes to the rescue of a mother-daughter assassin team.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, Gunpowder Milkshake.
Holy shit. Look at the cast too. You got Angela Bassett, Paul Giamatti,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Yeoh, Leah Headley, Carla G. Oh man.
Yeah,
Woo.
good cast. Gunpowder Milkshake, good title too.
I'm excited for that too. I'm also mildly excited for Kajillionaire.
I have that on my list as a mild interest too.
Yeah, for this is going to be the newest one from Miranda July,
Mm-hmm.
which I like the synopsis of this, which is this family kind of being a family of con artists, and they join they add an outsider, and it kind of disrupts everything. And again, you got a cast of Richard Jenkins, Deborah Winger, Evan Rachel Wood, Divine Joy Randolph, Gina Rodriguez, and I usually enjoy Miranda July too. So
I like her too. I think this is playing Sundance this year.
okay, so 2021. I should
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me just move it on over to the other list.
I have bios on my kind of interested list. It's stars
Okay.
Tom Hanks and Caleb Landry Jones. Skeet Ulrich is in there too, interestingly.
That's an interesting pairing.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, Caleb Landry Jones.
So it's directed by Miguel Sapochnik, and I'm not sure if I'm familiar with this guy. Oh, he's Game of Thrones. He did a bunch of Game of Thrones stuff. It's a sci-fi movie, takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth, and Tom Hanks plays this like a scientist who builds he's dying. He's the last man on Earth and he's dying, and he decides to build a robot to take care of his dog after he dies.
Okay. Yeah. I put that on my list.
Yeah. It sounds
this is also the guy that did that Repo Men reboot or whatever from 2010.
I liked that.
Looks like that's the only thing he did, and then he went to TV for the longest time.
He did do Altered Carbon, which I liked a lot. That was a Netflix show.
Okay.
So just looking at what he did with Repo Men and Altered Carbon, it looks like he is pretty comfortable doing sci-fi stuff and creating some really cool sci-fi visuals. So yeah, pretty excited about bios.
Here is one I was looking through because I was just looking to see what Robert Longstreet is doing, and this stars Whitmer Thomas, which you might have seen him on a number of shows, most of which I can't name for some reason right now. I remember him being on Glow a little bit, but he has a pretty big role in A Dim Valley, which he's quite good in. So this is it looks to be an indie comedy. It's called The Immortal Jellyfish, director Dusty Bias. So Whitmer Thomas plays Denny, an off-the-grid oddball who has a fire piss problem. Apparently he's good to piss his fire. And then a dying guy washes ashore, and they become madcap partners in crime solving. It just sounds like a bunch of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And Robert Longstreet's in it with Whitmer Thomas, which they're both in A Dim Valley from Brandon Colvin, and they were good in that. So I've signed up for The Immortal Jellyfish.
Yeah, that sounds odd. I think I can imagine that we'll be covering that one when it comes out on the show, probably.
Hopefully at some point.
I have Let Them All Talk. This is Steven Soderbergh one.
I like how the title is like he's just like, you know what? I do talking movies. So I'm just gonna be straight to the point with the title.
I read that this was shot when they were when he and Meryl Streep were on a ship heading to Venice for the premiere of The Laundromat. While they were on the ship, they shot this movie, and it stars Meryl Streep alongside Lucas Hedges and Gemma Chan, and Diane Wiest is in there as well.
Okay.
I have no idea what it's about. I don't think they've released like a plot summary yet, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Why not? I mean, a year's long. I mean, you got to watch something.
Mm-hmm.
So throw it in there. Another one that I'm just kind of mildly interested in here for a number of reasons is a new movie about Tesla called Tesla
Yeah, I've read a little bit about this.
with Ethan Hawke playing Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Again, the cast, you got Ethan Hawke, Hannah Gross, which for some reason really haven't seen her in a whole lot. And I was pretty excited when she showed up in The Mountain, but she doesn't really do anything,
No.
which is disappointing. And I was like halfway through the second season of Mindhunter, and I'm just like, where the fuck is Hannah Gross? Like, why? They don't even fucking mention her. It just pissed me
I
off.
thought that was weird.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? Because I loved her character from season one, and it's just like completely cut out of the show. But it also has Jim Gaffigan, Kyle MacLachlan. You got cinematography from Sean Price Williams, and it's about Tesla. It's a lot of good elements there.
Yeah, I have a mild interest in that too. Another one that I'm like kind of interested in is the Jesus Rolls, which is the sort of spin-off from the Big Lebowski about
Oh
the
yeah,
Jesus, John Turturro's character. John Turturro directed this as well, and I don't know how I feel about it, but Pete Davidson's in it, Bobby Cannavale's in it, John Hamm. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know.
JB Smooth.
Yeah, JB Smooth. I mean, if JB Smooth's in it, then I'm already kind of on board. On Audrey
Yeah.
Tauteau's in it too. Audrey Tautou.
Wow, that's a cast.
Mm-hmm.
That is a cast. Memoria, which is the new Pitchapong rerecyclical movie. This is the
Oh,
one he's doing with Tilda Swinton. So
okay.
it's Tilda Swinton playing a woman from Scotland traveling in Colombia. Starts noticing some strange sounds, and then the sentence right after is that is she soon begins to think about their appearance. So I don't know if she's just trying to visualize the sounds. I'm not sure
Sounds
what's
like it.
going on, but he has that he has that uncanny ability to just like capture that dream state. So really looking forward to that.
Another one that I'm like kind of interested in, and this is sort of keeping with the Pete Davidson thing, is King of Staten Island, which is Judd Apatow's new movie that is it's sort of inspired by the life of Pete Davidson.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really have an opinion on Pete Davidson one way or the other.
Well, it sounds like you do. You're all about Pete Davidson. It sounds like 2020 is the year of Pete Davidson
I
for Adam
really
Patterson.
hope not. I really hope that's not the case.
It would be interesting if that's what comes out of 2020 for you, is that you just become this huge Pete Davidson fanboy.
I mean, are you a fan of Pete Davidson?
No, I hate the guy.
Yeah,
I find him very, very, very irritating.
that's why I'm like a little hesitant about this movie because I I don't know.
I'm excited or interested at least in The Whistlers. This is the newest movie from Corneliu Porumboe. I hope that's totally wrong, incorrect. But this is the director of Police Adjective, The Treasure, Infinite Football. So this is a policeman. He goes to an island in the Canaries. He's trying to get this guy out of prison, but he's having trouble with the local dialect, their language, which is apparently just includes a lot of hissing and spitting. So, and he's known for like really, really deadpan type stuff, and he's not really a big, like there's some comedic aspects to his work, but they're really, really understated. So this sounds to me like it's gonna be pretty absurdist,
Yeah.
which he's not 100% known for. So that's kind of what has me interested here.
I'm kind of interested in that too. See how that turns out.
Because I'm with it, I'm reading the synopsis and I'm with it the whole way until the last couple words, which are a language which includes hissing and spitting, which is a weird left turn to take. So
Yeah. The rest of the ones that I have on my list are pretty high profile releases. So these are ones that most people already know about that I'm just like mildly excited for. And the first one would be Halloween Kills, the Halloween sequel from David Gordon Green. You have everybody behind the camera coming back. So Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, and then you have the whole cast from what was that,
And
2016 on the first one?
you know who else is in it?
Oh.
Robert Longstreet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, well, let me correct myself real quick. That is now on my most anticipated list. Proper.
There you go. The power of Longstreet. My turn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. I'm sorry. Where am I? Let me find something. Here's something that I just kind of stumbled across, which never heard of this director, which is Pablo Guerrero, and I've never seen any of his movies, but he has a new movie coming out called Aquilar, and this is a period piece about witchcraft in 1609, where all the men have essentially left the village. I can't remember the reason. I don't know if it's for war or sea. They went out to sea. I don't know. But so the witches kind of take over, and one guy's kind of in charge of bringing these witches to justice. And I don't know, just old timey witches. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I wish there was an alternate universe where we let witches go, like we just embraced witchcraft.
Where can you imagine? Where would we be right now? If we let the witches go and developed their craft, where would we be? Probably all diseases would be cured.
It would be incredible. We would be like, at some point in history, someone was just like, you know what, this religion thing kind of not working out. It's kind of boring, kind of lame. Let's switch over to this witchcraft stuff that these women are doing.
They're getting shit done.
Yeah, they fucking are. And they probably would have got a shit ton of stuff done if we didn't kill all of them.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'm mildly excited for Godzilla versus Kong. This is the new Godzilla movie directed by Adam Wingard. I really didn't like the last Godzilla movie, and so I'm kind of hoping that this one brings it back so I can see Godzilla versus Kong and enjoy what they're doing. I like big monster movies.
It's just, King Kong and Godzilla. I like what they're doing. I like what they're up to. I like what those guys do.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I really hope it's good.
I hope for your sake too that it's good. I don't want to see you disappointed anymore, you know?
Well, you were into not the last Godzilla, but the one before that. You enjoyed that one.
Right? I did enjoy that one. And I completely forgot that a second one came out until just now.
Yeah,
really.
Because it wasn't great.
Yeah. I think that's why it didn't show up on the radar. Another movie that I'm pretty sure was on last year's list, maybe even the year before. So fingers crossed that finally happens, and that's The Carnivores from Caleb Johnson. This is the director of Joy Kevin, which is a little indie movie that I was quite taken with. So this is his follow-up. So hopefully at some point in time, I don't know, we'll see.
I have a Marvel movie on my list here, and that's Eternals. Now, I don't know too much about the Eternals, like the comic books or anything. I never read them, but this is directed by Chloe Zhao.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a really impressive cast. You're talking Kumail Nanjiani. That's why that picture of him that went viral a couple weeks ago. That's because of this movie. Kumail Nanjiani, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Selma Hayek, Gemma Chan's in there, Brian Tyree Henry, Barry Keoghan. Sounds like it could be a really solid Marvel movie. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's the only Marvel movie that I am actually excited for in 2020.
Wow. The only other thing I really have is Elisa Hittman's newest, the director of Beach Rats and It Felt Like Love. She has a new movie coming out called Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, which centers around two teenage girls from rural Pennsylvania that go to New York City because of an unintended pregnancy. I was quite taken with Beach Rats.
Same.
So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. I'll be interested in that as well. Okay. I'll just rapid fire some of these here. Fantasy Island. This is the Blumhouse reboot of the TV show, the horror reboot of the TV show. Looks kind of twisty. Kind of interested in the concept of this one. Bloodshot is another one. This is a comic book movie. It's the one with Vin Diesel. Again, this is one I never read the comics. This is based on a Valiant comic book. I never really was into the Valiant comics, but Bloodshot looks pretty crazy. I loved the little teaser trailer they did where you see Vin Diesel getting his freaking face blown off, and then
my goodness.
You should see the teaser. He gets his face blown off with a shotgun, and then it's like in slow motion. So you just see all of like the pieces of his face being blown off, and then sort of reversing back into him. It's directed by Dave Wilson, who I think this might be his debut. It is. It's his debut, but he did the visual effects on just a ton of video games and stuff. So it's seems to be having like a bit of a video game vibe. So I'm kind of interested to see how Bloodshot turns out. Quiet Place Part 2. I enjoyed A Quiet Place, and I don't really know if it needed a sequel, but the trailer was pretty exciting. So we'll see where they go from here. John Krasinski is coming back to direct this one, and he wrote it as well. I think the first one he co-wrote it with the two guys that did Haunt, which was one of my favorite horror movies of 2019. Top Gun Maverick.
All Top Gun.
You know, this just seems like such a... It just looks fun. I'm sad that Tony Scott passed away before being able to work on this, but it looks like Top Gun. Man, it looks like they're bringing it back. And it looks like there's going to be some kind of volleyball scene in this one too. So, yeah, I'm all about that. And the thing I like is that it's not all CG. You know, that was one of the things I was worried about when I first heard rumblings of a Top Gun sequel. Like, oh, they're just gonna green screen everything. Everything's gonna be fake and CG. But I should have known that like Tom Cruise wouldn't stand for something like that. And so they actually use, you know, real fighter jets and stuff in it, and it looks pretty cool. One that I'm not necessarily excited for, but I'm maybe slightly interested in is Mulan.
Okay.
I never am interested in the live action Disney adaptations. Almost never. But this one seems like one of the most plausible. Like one of the ones that I think could work.
Yes.
It's directed by Nikki Caro, who did The Whale Rider, which is actually my wife's favorite movie for some reason. It's a good movie, but and it has a really great cast. Donnie Yen, Jet Li, Jason Scott Lee is in there too, which is I feel like I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's got a really great cast, and I'm hoping that it is better than the typical the typical Disney live action things. Wonder Woman 1984. Of course, I'm interested in this one. I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman. I know you did too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this one. I don't know how they're bringing back Chris Pine's character. I'm sure they're going to explain it, but it's like, what? How's he back? How'd that happen?
I don't know. Maybe it turns out he's a superhero too. Superhero Steve Trevor.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
I just like the idea of a superhero named Steve Trevor.
He doesn't have like a code name or anything. It's just Steve Trevor.
They asked him about it too. What's your code? No, I'm just going by Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor.
Please call me Steve. Steve Trevor.
New Mutants.
That's actually his. I feel like that's been on your list for like 4 years.
New Mutants. It's been kind of stuck in some kind of limbo for a long time. I think 2017 is when like it first was announced. It was supposed to come out, I think, in 2018, and then it got pushed way back. I don't know what happened to it. Apparently, they kept it on the shelf because they were going to do reshoots, and then they didn't do the reshoots. So now that Disney's in control of it, they're going to be releasing it's like the director's cut. So it's like the cut that the director wanted to release in the first place. So
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what that means for this movie. Like, I don't know why they wanted to do reshoots. I love the idea of a horror movie set in like the superhero world. And this is set in the X-Men universe, and it's a horror movie.
Yeah. But it's also just very bizarre to everything that is X-Men universe horror movie from the director of The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what? That's the I think the number one thing that just I can't wrap my head around with a lot of these decisions is like the directors that they get for certain things
Sometimes,
just make
yeah.
no sense.
Sometimes it makes sense. Like I
Yeah,
think them bringing on Scott Derrickson to handle Doctor Strange, I think
that makes
that
sense.
makes perfect sense. But yeah, the director of Fault in Our Stars, I mean, the only connection I have there is like the whole kind of young adult thing. You know, these are all teenage
Yeah,
mutants. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I'm hoping for the best with this one, but the fact that it was delayed by such a long time and it's just took so long for this to come out, it really has me wondering what's going on with this movie.
yeah.
No Time to Die, the new Bond film.
Okay,
You know, might give it a look.
sure.
For some reason, the Bond movies just were never a big series for me. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
they're movies like I go see them and I like them and I forget them like as soon as I leave the theater.
which yeah, because a while back, 6 or 7 years ago, I tried watching a couple Bond movies, and I didn't hate them. Like they were enjoyable enough, like as I was watching them, but they didn't stick with me at all,
Right.
and I still don't really have an interest in Bond at all.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'll check this one out. It's the last one that Daniel Craig's going to be doing, but I don't know. And that's pretty much all I have. That's it.
All right,
There's
okay,
So overall, I think 2020 is looking really good as far as releases. We have a lot of really you don't see a lot of the same things in here. At least on our list, you're not seeing a lot of there's some sequels in there and some reboots and things, but not just like wall to wall reboots and sequels like we've seen in years
and
past.
like I said at the top of the show, when I sat down to kind of comb through the upcoming titles, it wasn't like it was last year where, it was page one, Marvel and Disney and sequels, page two, Marvel, and it's just like, oh my god, I have no interest in any of these things.
Yeah, Marvel's presence in 2020, I'm not sure. I know Black Widow is coming out too, but I'm not sure what other Marvel movies, if any. I think it might just be Black Widow and Eternals. I don't know if there's any other ones coming out in 2020.
I hope not.
No, I think that's the problem with Marvel is that it became oversaturated. There's too many. There's too many of them, and they all start
Yeah,
to feel the same after a while.
they do, because they kind of do use the same template
Which I don't.
in a lot of ways.
Yes, they do. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Like, I mean, that's they're pulling from the source material. That's how comic books are. That's how they're structured, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But that I think that's why I tend to gravitate towards the more interesting stories in the Marvel movies. Like Thor Ragnarok is still probably one of my favorite of all the Marvel movies because I feel like that one was a lot different than your typical Marvel movie. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Looking forward to 2020. Very, very much looking forward to 2020.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet and @filmpulsekevin. And if you have a minute, consider giving us a review on your podcast platform of choice. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson, and we'll see you next week.